And the second activation is introducing you to the 8th dimension. And why the 8th dimension is important? It's just because many civilizations, not only the human civilization, is ascending towards the 8th dimension of existence. It is a space of connection with source energy. It is a space of where source energy is introduced to different civilization in the most incredible way. Let's explain a little bit the difference between the 4th, 6th, and 8th dimension for you to understand the similarities and the differences of it, okay? So the 4th dimensional bridge, it is the next level after the 3rd dimension. It is a beautiful bridge with multiple vortexes of light that we are using in actually accelerating your evolution and ascension. And it's a bridge between the 3rd and the 5th dimension, a bridge of evolution, expansion, ascension, awakening, a bridge of you connecting to your higher self and the higher councils of light, the star system, star civilization, star councils. Also, I'm always seeing the 4th dimension as being a gateway for teaching and learning. It is a space where you take your trainings. It is a space where information is downloaded, where you learn how to download information and connect to your higher self. It is like an academy, let's put it in that way, towards understanding the evolution of, human consciousness and how consciousness actually is merging with body and is merging with physical systems. It's like, an academy of like learning the non-physical and the physical systems coming together. Then the 6th dimension, it is another bridge, a bridge between the 5th and the 7th. It is a bridge of non-physicality, if I can say like that. It's a bridge where different civilizations from the 5th dimension are learning how to become non-physical. So it is another learning curve, of actually understanding how we can co-create with consciousness in ways that are not limiting anymore to physical body, but are incredible when it comes to like going higher into the higher realms of existence, because after the 5th dimension, we don't need bodies anymore as such if we want to interdimensional travel and to actually go into the higher realms of existence and co-creating faster with multiple civilization in the same time. And this is where, the Arcturian Council of Light is in the 7th dimension. They are non-physical and they choose to be so and to remain so because they are evolving as well as others towards high realms of existence. So no civilization stays the same, and the lifespan of evolution is happening very fast, in galactic years, maybe, hundreds of years on Earth, if I can say like that. But it's very fast from one civilization to another. So the 6th dimensional bridge is it's a learning curve. It doesn't look like portals anymore. It's only one portal. So if in the 4th dimension we have multiple portals and gateways of evolution, in the 6th dimensional bridge is only one portal, and that's the portal towards non-physical. And this is when, when in the 5th dimension, when we become translucent in our physical bodies and at will, we are in physical and non-physical, there is another learning curve when it comes to understanding a co-creation with source energy and transitioning into non-physical realms of existence, where there are so many civilizations that exist there. But there is a dying process, if I can say like that. You know how, for example, in the 3rd dimension, there are these cycles of birth and death and birth and death in physical form, okay? So you don't have to transition in non-physical to become non-physical. It's actually happening in physical form. Well, imagine in the 5th dimension is the same process of ascension and evolution, which actually is challenging the consciousness to become non-physical even more. So the attachment towards physicality to be released completely, because in the 7th dimension, you don't have body anymore. But so many civilizations are going through a process, like not all of them are actually ready for that, to exist in non-physical. So the 8th dimensional bridge is like when they become non-physical in the 7th dimension, the multiple civilization are experiencing like another evolutionary challenge, if I can say like that, right? So you understood the 4, the 6, and 8 now. And the evolutionary challenge in the 8th dimension is co-creation with source energy. So in the 8th dimension, civilizations are invited to merge with source. And not so many civilizations want that. Of course, you know, in non-physical and physical expression, we can keep our identity and so on, but within like 8th dimension, it's mostly like a gateway where you can actually merge with source energy straight away, and you are becoming source, and you are losing somehow, you know, a part of identity. You keep your signature frequency, but you are losing the attachment towards the civilization, the attachment towards the dimension, the attachment towards structures. Yeah. So why we are introducing you today to the 8th dimension? Why do you believe we want to do that? Because you are in the 3rd, you know? So you are, so imagine the number 3, yeah? You are like, and the other half creates an 8, right? So you are in the 3rd. Why do you want to put the other half together to create an 8? Just because when you are connecting with the 8-dimensional grids, you are connecting with source energy. And this is, you know, an introduction to what source frequency is. So it doesn't mean that if we are connecting you with the 8th dimension, you are going to become non-physical and, you know, transition into becoming source energy and let go of all your identity. No. To get there, you have to go through this evolutionary process that I just explained, and you are in the 3rd dimension. The reason we want to connect you with the 8th dimension today is because you will be able to receive the feeling, the emotion, the energy, the connection with all that is.